My name is Clifton Fischer. I am co-founder of Doggery Craft Ice. We create large format clear ice products for bars, restaurants, hotels, and hospitality companies all around the state of Florida and Georgia. The reason I took part in the CEO Mindset course is I needed to expand my horizons as far as trying to figure out how to build, scale, and expand my business in itself. And just me working in the business, me and my partner Jake, we were doing a lot of things, going a lot of different directions. We needed to get more focused on what needed to be done so we could become successful. There were things that I was concentrating on that were low-hanging fruit, and I really needed to concentrate on the more global aspect of my company. How we were going to get the big thing was processes, getting things written down. So we had individuals that anybody that we brought in, any individual we brought into the company, would be able to do what we asked with little supervision, because there was a step-by-step process for everything. Working with my son-in-law was, we needed to figure out how we could communicate better to make sure that we were not missing items that needed to be taken care of. We had specifically set core competencies for each of us to have. This is where your lane is. This is where my lane is. And then we both discuss what needed to be done and how it needed to be done. So I think the biggest thing was working on the communication between the partners of the company to ensure that we didn't miss any important factors, dealing with whether it be wholesale, retail, production, personnel, and just plain taking care of the bills. Class, we were attempting to do everything that we could ourselves, as much as we could, just because, I mean, for the most part, we weren't taking any pay either. So we didn't know how we were going to bring individuals on as employees, how we were going to pay for that. We had our numbers, we had our what our costs were going to be, and our costs included paying for employees, but we didn't think that we were at a point yet where we could do that. After the class, both Jake and myself had discussed it ad nauseum, that there was no doubt that we needed to bring personnel on, because if we're constantly working in the shop, we were not able to go out there and expand the business with new customers and or new business strategies. We brought one person on that allowed us to a little more time to go out there and actually meet with owners and buyers with various bars and restaurants, as well as hotels. And that did free up time to where we were more productive. And in the end, being more productive does bring in more money. I would say no, because I found more things to do to fill up that time. So I did not have more time, but we became more efficient with our time use. So yes, I had more time, and then I filled it with more products and services that we needed to take care of. If you've got time, you either have too many employees or you're not doing what you need to do. After the class, in being less concerned with what people thought, I knew what I had. I knew I had a good product. Me and the other two partners knew that we had a winning product, and we were always bebopping around as far as, well, is the price here, is the price there, and we just became very stern in our thought process that we had an excellent product. It was going to make people money, and that's just it. So yeah, we were definitely more confident with the product and the numbers. Trusting the process. I mean, the one thing that, I won't say that I was second guessing everything that we did, but I was second guessing everything that we did. Is this the right decision? Jake would say something and it would sound like a great idea. And then I'd second guess it, or I'd say something and he would second guess it, or I would second guess it. We just had to trust each other and realize that we both had the company's best interest in mind, and go with our gut and go with the numbers. So if the numbers say X, then that's what we did, instead of questioning it or second guessing it. And we haven't looked back since. It's been pretty solid. The only thing we've done, we've changed pricing for different sectors of the state. That's about it. That's the only thing that we have changed from what we had started to do. I don't want to say Papa Bear, but the fact is that I feel responsible for taking care of all of my employees, the family that is Doggery Craft Ice. But putting that aside, I'm also responsible for Doggery Craft Ice. I need to make sure that I do what needs to be done to take care of the company so that it thrives and flourishes within the community, and therefore make the hard calls when I need to make the hard calls. If somebody's got to go, somebody's got to go. We've released a couple of employees that were toxic. We've sat down and had conversations with the partners and iron things out. And as the CEO, I've had to make tough calls and put the hammer down on certain things. At the same time, I've also made the tough calls to say, okay, we're going to go ahead and expand into a certain market. Let's just do it. We'll figure it out as we get there. One of the big things is that we wanted to be in retail over a year ago. And we were always waiting, and this is probably partially my issue, is that I was always waiting for the perfect packaging, instead of just doing it and make it happen. And we were going out trying different packaging. I mean, for instance, here's, we were looking at packaging like this, which was quite expensive. And then the equipment to actually do it was quite expensive. So therefore it put us out of the marketing for that. And we were going to have to put another $1 on top of our product, thereby taking that out of the price point that we wanted to be in. So I made the call and we went with a ready-made package. We were going to do printing, but everything was going out of China. So we didn't want to do that. I made the call that we're just going to go with something here. We found an American company that printed labels, and it stinks, but we sit at home or sit at the shop and we label bags by hand, just because there's no efficient way to do it that's cost effective. Other than us doing it ourselves, because I won't say that my time is free and my partner's time is free and my wife and my daughter's time is free, but the fact of the matter is that you got to do what you got to do to get this company to the level that you can afford to do the things you need to do. So as a CEO, I've made numerous decisions on things that were not exactly liked by the other two partners. But in the end, they finally saw that it was the correct decision to make. I went into the CEO mindset course. We were already doing a sales numbers of $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So we were already in the marketplace. Shortly after that, we manipulated a few things, we changed a few things, got into some other markets and things like that, and we were very quickly at $14,000 to $15,000 a month, utilizing some of the things that I learned and also taking some risks on some of the things that I was not willing to take risks on before. So I would recommend it to an individual or a group of individuals that have a business in place, or at least at the beginning stages of having the business in place. They got a physical location, they have a business plan, they've got their bank accounts, they've got all their permits, they've got everything ready to go, and they're ready to launch actually into the market.